this deep, but my smile's a little wider than it ought to be. When I wanna dance through the pouring rain, there's only one reason I feel this way. I say, God, you get the credit, cause you bet it wasn't me. And I figured if I said it, then I get it finally. No, I won't forget it, I won't edit history. Cause God, you get the credit, and you bet it wasn't me. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I'm giving you the credit now. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Yeah, baby, oh God, you get the credit now. Well, if tomorrow comes and I catch a break, and my deck of cards starts falling into place, I will recognize the milk and honey flows from you. I can't do it on my own. I'll say, God, you get the credit, cause you bet it wasn't me. And I figured if I said it, then they get it. You outdid yourself, cause it's a Friday night feeling. Why don't you take me downtown? I'm singing, ooh, ooh, ooh. Can you feel it in the air? I'm singing, ooh, ooh, ooh. Country music everywhere. I'm singing, feel it, feel it, feel it, feel it, feel it, feel it. Play that radio, top down, here we go. So you like day drinking?
Are you Jamie?
I'm Jamie.
Hi, Jamie. How are you? I'm Paulina.
Hi, Paulina. Oh my God, so excited. You're so bubbly in person, well, in virtual person, just like I imagined. I love it.
Oh my goodness, thank you so much. I'm so excited that we get to do this. I get to meet somebody new. It's
I
awesome.
know, right? Connecting
Yeah.
with people. I love, and you know, this has been a blessing in disguise, right? Like, you know, introducing my audience to like artists like you, like energetic, with passion, super talented, you know, with a bright future. That's been fantastic, Paulina. Thank you
Oh.
for your time.
I so appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, absolutely, Paulina. Yeah, so like, you know, your shows, your stage presence, it's all about energy, it's all about passion, it's all about depth and fun, and that's like one of the trademarks that we love about you. But let me start with this, Paulina. You have made the best out of this Corona situation. You've played the Dixie Fields Festival online, Third and Lindsay event online. You released a great single. You played with Maggie Rose, with Lily May. I'm just curious, when did you decide, like, how long did it take you to be like, oh my God, I have to make something with this time, be productive?
Well, you know what? There was never really a moment where it hit me. It was just all sort of, you know, oh my goodness, I don't have anything to go do. I don't have any shows, you know, like, what am I going to do? I don't get to do what I love right now. What in the world? So I just said to myself, well, I mean, thankfully this happened in an era where we have technology that allows us to do stuff like this, allows us
Right.
to put on shows still. Granted, we're not all in the same room, but thankfully sound waves can travel all around the world. And so can a picture on a screen, right?
Right.
So I just sort of, you know, I realized I can't not do what I love. I got to find a way to do it. That's what it really was for me.
Yeah, there's no stopping Paulina Jayne. Not a pandemic, not a virus. Can't stop it.
Nothing, baby, nothing.
That's great, Paulina. Oh my God, I want to talk to you about so much stuff. I want to talk about Credit, your new single, which is fantastic. Your music, your fashion, a lot of things. But first, let me ask you about your early life for a second, if you don't mind.
All right.
So you are born in Detroit, Michigan. You're
Yes,
from
sure
from Grosse Pointe, Michigan.
Yep, that's where I grew up.
Yeah. People don't know this because people, you know, they relate Detroit to Detroit Rock City or whatever, or Cars. But
Yeah.
Detroit has a really good country scene, doesn't it?
Huge country scene, and a lot of that is thanks to a man named Tim Roberts. He runs one of the radio stations up there called 99.5 WYCD, and that radio station single-handedly, you know, gave me an opportunity to be heard in Detroit. There were also a bunch of other people, obviously, along the way, like my managers when I was really young, that would put me out on these stages. I tell this story sometimes. I think back when I was 14 or 15 years old, and I think back to a time when I got a call to play my third show ever, and I was walking out on stage to open up for Sheryl Crow in front of 10,000 people in an amphitheater. And it, you know, I mean, it's a perfect example that there really truly is country music in Detroit. You don't just have a show with Sheryl Crow on a whim after you sign a management deal. If
But you
there's no
probably
country
thought
music.
that. You're like, oh, this music superstardom thing, that's easy. Third gigs and playing for Sheryl Crow.
Listen, I don't know. It was a total blessing, and there was a lot of time put into getting better when I was little, and there still is. I'm always practicing and always working real hard. So, but yeah, huge blessing to play that.
For sure. They say you get celebrated in public for what you do in private, right? That's the saying.
That's a great way to say it.
Your testimony to that, because you started playing piano when you were 5 years old, Paulina. That's young. Did you come from a musical family, or were you like a trailblazer? What's going on there?
Well, I'd like to say I'm a trailblazer, but my mom was in an a cappella group. She still is, actually, up in Michigan. Amazing pianist. So was my grandmother on my mom's side and my grandmother on my dad's side. And so there was always this strain of piano that is sort of taking its way all the way down back from my grandparents' generation to me. And my mom, she was intense, man. If I wasn't practicing every day, she was sitting right next to me, making sure I was reading the notes on that page, She didn't take it lightly.
She's the unsung hero, like every mother. I love it.
She is.
I love it, Paulina. So before you get signed, you play in this church band. I want to get to when you get signed in a minute, but from 5 to 13, kind of, you're in a church band. What do you remember from this time playing with this band?
Well, it's kind of funny. So my band was made up of people from church, but they were playing my music that I was writing that was secular.
Oh, wow.
So we were all able to come up with different arrangements on a regular basis. I had a different piano teacher at a certain point, and he would come over with a blank sheet of paper, and he'd put it on top of the music stand. He'd say, all right, what are we doing today? And I'd say, well, I've got this new song, and I have these ideas, but I don't quite know what to do here because I don't know how to play this kind of thing on the piano yet. So he'd teach me these improvisational little things that lended to the ability to create and compose music in a really fun and unique way. I mean, I don't know anybody who had somebody pour that much time into their songwriting that at an age that young. So
that's amazing.
That's what it's like, though, when you have these people who believe in something greater than themselves, coming together for someone else and giving really what their talent is to you is huge. And that's what it was like for me playing with these men and women from my church.
Paulina, listen, I'm telling you that's your purpose. That's your purpose. God, he bless you so you can give art to the world like you're doing. So thank you. That's awesome. That is great that you're doing that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely, Paulina. So when you're 13, 14, destiny intercedes, right? You go to this dive bar in Mount Clemens, little dive bar where, classic rock used to be played in Michigan.
Yes,
and
sir.
A couple industry guys kind of found you there. Like they saw you play and they're like pinching themselves. I have a couple questions about this, Paulina. Number one, what is a 13-year-old doing in a bar?
Deb O'Brien, what do you have to say to that? It was my mom.
Right. That's pretty epic. And but number two, tell me about like the encounter with these two gentlemen. Like, what did they tell you? Did you think they were legit? How was this?
Well, first of all, what was I doing in a bar? This was my mom and my piano teacher's grand idea.
I love your mom. I'm such a big fan of your mom already, Paulina, in every way. Taking you to bars at 13, practice. I can't. She's awesome.
You guys would definitely get along. But yeah, she and my piano teacher had decided that it was time for me to play my first show out. And so I walked onto this stage. I was a young chick. I didn't know exactly what I was doing, but I was playing music, which is, like I said, what I love. And next thing I know, I walk off the stage. I had just wrapped up this whole set. I was on a high. I was so excited. My first time ever doing something like that. And there are these three men, and they're all standing together. And my cousin, Audrey, is sort of near them, and she started chatting it up with him. My cousin Audrey is this really animated girl. She's Greek. We're all Greek. We're
She's
loud.
your
You know?
PR. She's your family PR, right?
She kind of was. She kind of was. And so she said, "Paulina, you need to come over and meet these guys." So I came over and met them. And at first I was standing there with my mom, and I'm thinking, I don't know really why they're telling me they love this so much and why they say they want to meet and have a conversation. And my mom and I both thought they were just patronizing me, and I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." I just played some music. And then we got a call from them the next day, and then we continued to get calls, and then we did our diligence, and
you looked them
6 months
up
later,
the whole thing. Yeah, amazing.
6 months later, I was sitting in my kitchen signing a deal with them.
In the kitchen? That's epic.
In the kitchen. The kitchen.
Oh my God. I'm sure you have photos of that. That's going to the Country Hall of Fame in short order. Yeah, absolutely, Paulina. So tell me about you moved to Nashville, right? Was it like nerve-wracking, or like, I know you went to Belmont University, I think,
Yes.
or were you just like a hungry bull just charging ahead, like, you know?
I would say it was about 60-40. So 60% of me was really freaking out, and 40% was charging bull. I had been making trips down to Nashville since I was about 15 or 16, and so coming down, I had a little bit of lay of the land, and I knew a few people, and I knew a guy named Trey Bruce, and he told me from the time I met him that I needed to be living in Nashville in the thick of it.
You wrote with him
quite a bit, and he produced a lot of my stuff.
Along with Danny Orton, Brian White. He's part of this nice little group. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. And so you know your stuff.
No, what do you mean? You're a legend in the making. You got to do due diligence.
You're sweet. But yeah, I came down to Nash. College was hard for me at first. I was homesick. If you listen to my EP that I wrote and I released, I think in 2016 or something like that, I put a song on there called Homesick. It's true. Every emotion that's in that song, I felt it. I'm sick of being homesick is exactly where I was at.
Yeah.
And then entered one of my now best friends and manager, and everything changed. And my world just got so much better, and I felt like I had a purpose, and it was wonderful.
I love it, Paulina. But we were just talking about Trey and Anthony Smith and all these people. Explain to us non-songwriting folks, because this is like a fascinating thing. Like take us inside the curtain. When you meet a songwriter for the first time, like, how do you connect on an artistic level, right? Because it's like you don't know each other as a person, much less like musically. How does that work, those first encounters?
Well, I was fortunate to write with people who came into the room really interested in knowing who you are, which changes everything. Because when you go into a songwriting room where people just kind of want to get the job done, get the song done, and get out of there because they've got another write at 2 p.m., it's a very different vibe. And you don't know if you're ever going to be able to reach that creative peak that you hope for in every single write, because you don't know anything about the other person's heart. And where does creativity come from? Where does authenticity come from? Their heart, their soul. So if you don't have a chance to get to know at least a 15-minute chunk of that, how are you supposed to know how to relate to this person? Yeah. So that is what I try to do when I go into a write. I try to get to know somebody, at least to the smallest nth degree. And I
love it.
And just learn about who they are so that we can find some common ground, some creative common ground.
And it comes through in your music, Paulina. It's really great. Like the way you just connect to your fans online. It's the best. It's you can't fake that, by the way. You know what I mean?
I'm really glad to hear that.
Yeah, you cannot fake that. It's just, it is or it isn't. So absolutely. Let me talk to you about Credit, your new single. Because I love that song. I love that song. Beautiful song. I started playing it, like a few days ago. It's already on my iTunes, like top 25, like a 24.
I love it.
Like from 0 to like 100. Powerful lyrics. You wrote it with Annalisa Rotella. Good stuff.
I did.
But I love the story of this song, right? So share the story with my audience. You're in your last show of last year. You're in St. Andrews Hall. You're with
Yep.
your mom. And
Yep.
why don't you tell us the story? Take it away. I love this story.
So I'm hanging out backstage. This is right before I'm about to go on. My mom was able to come to the show. She doesn't get to come to every single one of them because she lives in Detroit and I live here.
Mhm.
But thankfully, she got to come and hang out. So we're standing backstage with her. And next thing I know, this wonderful security guard who was cracking me up the whole night, honestly, she says to my mom, "Deb, why do you smile so much? Why are you so joyful? Where does that come from and how can I get some of it?" And my mom just looks at her and she just, in her Deborah way, says, "I really can't take credit for that." She said, I gotta pay homage to the big guy upstairs.
Nice.
And I was sitting there with the two of them and I immediately got my phone out and I wrote down in my big long list of notes of titles, credit. God, you get the credit because you bet it wasn't me.
Nice.
I figured
Nice.
if I
On
said
your
it, then
phone.
they get it finally. Yep.
That's epic. Oh my God.
Yep.
Does that happen often? Like you're watching a movie, you're watching, I don't know, some Netflix show and like, you're like, hold the phone.
Yep.
I have a lightning strikes. Yeah.
That's exactly how it goes. I mean, I'm telling you, I live with two other girls and we'll be watching a movie, some romantic comedy or something. And
Right.
I immediately, middle of the show, got to go upstairs to my room
Yeah.
and just work something out.
Oh my
The
God.
muse hits.
Can you imagine that? To be like, Paulina, Ryan Gosling's about to take off his shirt. You're like, I know, girls, but this is my song, Ryan Gosling. Excuse me. Right. I see the whole thing.
We can just rewind it. We come back to that part later.
I love it. I love it, Paulina. Oh my God. And is it true that you recorded this song like in your closet, like during quarantine, surrounded by your boots, by your jewelry, all this good stuff?
It's true. It's very glamorous. It's real glamorous over here. It was a makeshift little vocal booth for me. And it turns out that boots and clothes are really great soundproofing devices. So very cheap and affordable too. I'm sure
that's
you
what
have
I was
boots and
going to tell
clothes.
you. You're going to break the business. You don't need to go to Electric Lady in New York or anything. You just, the studios are going to be really upset with this. Sorry.
Exactly. I know. They're probably already coming after us or something.
I know. Got to copyright it, make a startup. Oh my God, that's great, Paulina. Okay, great. I want to, a couple more questions. I know maybe if we're lucky, you're going to play a song for us, but I want to ask you songwriting stuff. I'm like obsessed about with you right now. A lot of these artists, I've been playing to the Chicks, the formerly known Dixie Chicks album, the new one a lot lately, and it's like Natalie Ames got a divorce, so now all three of them are divorced. So it's like this whole divorce album, and I heard her talk recently that what you hear, that the best artistic songs come from the most pain. I think Alanis Morissette saying the same thing about a Jagged Little Pill the other day. Whatever.
Yeah.
In your case, you seem to bring out this great art out of joy. Like it doesn't seem like this applies to you. How do you do it?
Oh boy. That's a hard question to answer.
Yeah.
I try to, let's be real here. I write all kinds of stuff. I write dark stuff. I write sad stuff, things that'll make anybody cry. But I've chosen to release certain kinds of music because I do see that there is so much heartbreak in the world. I'm like, why am I going to add some of mine onto it? At the same time, though, I have been going through my own personal things in the last few months and writing music about those experiences that I've had. And those are less than perfect. And so I've been writing about the less than perfect things in my life. And I honestly think that this whole quarantine time, this moment to just sort of pause and change a little bit, refine what you're doing, it has opened my eyes up to the importance of vulnerability through music and through song. And while joy is something that can be really vulnerable, there is a whole other side of life that's vulnerable. That the Dixie
I'm writing this. I'm writing this down because this is the title of your episode: "The Importance of Vulnerability." That's what a great quote. I'm sorry.
Oh, thank you. I really I believe that there's a reason why people like the Chicks, those girls,
Mm-hmm.
they can come together and write a song, sing a song about something that's not joyful, and yet 100% of people will relate to it.
Yeah.
It's because it's vulnerable. It
Yeah.
takes a certain heart posture to be able to say the things that they're saying. It takes experience in life. I guess what I'm saying is I've had a heck of a lot of experience in life in the last 7 months.
Right.
And, it changes some music sometimes. And
I think what people like, yeah, you're right. I think what people love about your music is that they know that you've gone through stuff like we all have, but you still come out on the other side with a smile on your face, right? It's like the overcoming. It's like the journey. Like if a movie were to come out, Paulina, and it's like about a person who starts off with the perfect family, the perfect life, and then in the middle of the movie, still has the perfect life, and then the movie ends and still has the perfect life, no one would go see that, right?
right.
But it's all about the journey, man. It's all about breaking
Yeah.
through, and I think that's what people love about your music. Yeah.
Oh, I appreciate that, Jamie. I certainly try to let people in. I mean, we're here for a relationship, right? That's
Oh my
what we're
God.
around for.
Oh my God. You're a blessing to the world. I love it. I love it. Okay, Paulina, 2 more questions, and then we'll get to the good stuff. I want to, you also do a lot of good to the world. You're in a couple of good foundations and partnerships, but I want to ask you about specifically about Ms. Amazing.
Yeah.
It's a nonprofit that empowers girls with disabilities. What a great thing. Just quickly tell us about it. Like, when did you get involved, and what does it mean to you?
A few years ago, back when I was in college, my friend Rachel Dooley was the director of the Tennessee chapter. And so she invited me out one weekend to the Tennessee chapter event, which is basically this big thing where all these girls from Tennessee drive to Nashville. They put together an event for them to perform their certain talents, for them to talk about what they're passionate about, and just be on a stage and be in the spotlight, which is something that oftentimes women with disabilities, men with disabilities, what have you, they don't get to do. They don't get to be in the spotlight. So I went to this event and I watched several young girls go up there with confidence that I've never seen before. And I realized that all of these things that people in the world consider to be disabilities are actually extraordinary superpowers that are just untapped in everyday life. I mean, it is wonderful. It's eye-opening to get to hear these women talk about their lives, what they've experienced, and how they've turned it into something that makes sense in their own minds and that is life-giving for them. And honestly, it makes you sit back and makes you just say to yourself, what the heck am I doing? Like, if I'm ever complaining about something that's going on in my world, I need to put pause on that for a second and fast forward to whatever else is coming, because there is so much beauty in what people think is heartbreak in these girls' lives. It's not heartbreak, it's beauty. No, it's so cool. That's what Miss Amazing is. God. That's what hooked me. And I was like, I'm here for it. And I've been to the Nationals thing every year. They have this huge thing in different cities every year, and I go there every year and perform. And obviously not this year, but wow, it's special.
Is there any way we can donate, my audience, or volunteer or something? Maybe like Googling the foundation or something?
Absolutely. missamazing.org is where you can find the national page. And then they have individual chapters for each state. I think there's somewhere in the 30s, something like that, 30-something chapters. And it's ever growing. So if there are girls who are watching right now, or even guys who want to get interested in some standpoint too, you can go and sign up, be a volunteer at an event, or even be a participant.
I love it. Paulina, wow, so inspiring. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. That's awesome. Is the rumor true that you're going to play a little song for us? Is that?
I'd love to.
Oh my God. Oh my God. That is fantastic. What a great treat.
I would love to do that. Now, here's the question though. Something new, or do you want to hear credit?
I'll have a question for you. What are you feeling?
That's a real good question.
Yeah. What are you, Paulina, the artist, feeling right now?
I think I'm feeling something new.
Great. Oh my God.
Something new.
Oh, I love
I've been doing this thing lately. Does that sound okay for you, by the way?
Yeah, it sounds good. Sounds good.
Okay. I've been doing this thing lately where I write on my bathroom floor up in my bedroom. And I just go in there, I turn a candle on, close the doors, and it's pretty dark. And I just sit in there and I just write some music. And so one day I was doing just that. I think it was like 1 or 2 in the morning. And this idea for this song just hit me like a ton of bricks.
Hit you. Oh my God, I love it.
I had to pull it right out of thin air. But this is called Drove By.
Drove By. So this is a new song.
Brand new.
Oh my God, what a treat. Thank you so much.
Oh, I appreciate it. All right, I'll play a little something for you. It's a little different than what you're used to too. So I hope you like it. It was out of the way on the other side of town. It was getting real late, but I couldn't resist myself. So I reasoned, everybody's done this once before. I'm no different, looking for closure, I wanna know more. So I drove by your house last night, just to see if the lights were on, and I'm sorry 'cause I just lied. I was hoping you'd be alone, but I saw a car in the drive, didn't recognize, and it's in a way that I never met. I know I did it, so what did I expect when I drove by your house last night? I guess I was hoping you'd still be holding on. I wanted to beat you to the moving on. Yeah, it's selfish, but you forced me to decide. And I can't help it if I doubt myself sometimes. So I drove by your house last night, and just to see if the lights were on, and I'm sorry 'cause I just lied. I was hoping you'd be alone, but I saw a car in the drive, didn't recognize, and it's been away, and I never met. I know I did it, so what did I expect? No, when I drove by your house last night, I thought I'd take a good look. I don't regret anything I did. It's kind of still the feeling again. When I drove by your house last night, Jamie, I was hoping you'd be alone, but I saw a car in the drive, didn't recognize, and it's been away, and I never met. I know I did it, so what did I expect? No, when I drove by your house last night, oh yeah. I thought I'd take a good look, oh, baby, now I know.
Wow.
Something like that.
Oh, Paulina, that's a number one. That is going
Oh,
straight up the charts. That's awesome. Great song.
Yeah, it'll probably change over time because this is just the first time I'm really going for it. But you know how it is. Got to play it sometimes.
Love it, Paulina. Thank you so much for playing that for us, and thank you so much for your time. You've been so generous, and it's been so enjoyable, Paulina.
Thank you, Jamie. I appreciate you, and you are a heart of gold.
No,
you got a heart of gold,
you are.
baby.
Thank you for sharing your art and your light with the world, because that's what we need, man. Absolutely.
The same goes for you. I hope we can meet each other in person soon.
Absolutely. Continued blessings to you. Say hi to your mom. She's a hero. Say she's got a fan in Miami. And all the best to you, Paulina. All right? Bye-bye.
Thank you. I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks.